What's up, guys? We are back. I am Dusty Neal, and
I'm Deep Thing.
we are back with another show about fear.
Yeah, you had such a positive reaction from you from our last show that we were going to go a bit more in detail about some of these subjects.
Yes, there's a lot of fears out there. A lot of fears. So many. God, last show we tried to talk about fear and we added too many subjects, and we really couldn't get in depth about fear on each subject. So this time we're going to take our time.
Oh yeah.
Big time. So let's get right down to it. There is so many. Which one do you think we should talk about?
Oh, let's see. What do we got on the roster here?
A lot.
Yeah. Why don't we start out with the big one? Death.
Death. Uh-oh. So it looks like everybody always fears death. They do.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to fear death. I don't fear it anymore because I live a certain way where I kind of don't fear anything anymore. But that will come up in our show, how I got over those fears of pretty much everything. And now I'm just kind of free falling. So death. Well,
I'm still afraid of death. I do not want to die.
Let's see if I can teach Deep Think about death. All right, first things first. Guys, we are all going to die. We're all going to die. There's nothing we can do about it. It's inevitable unless they come up with new technologies to where we can take a fountain of youth kind of pill and we can stay young forever. But I don't think that's happening anytime soon. So the first thing you need to do is this. Everyone that's around you right now, everyone, someone sitting beside you when you're watching this show, know that they're going to die one day. Know that your father, your mother, your sister, even you first, the faster you accept that you're going to die, the faster you can get on with your life. And it's one of the hardest fears that everybody struggles with in America and across the world. I think the faster you accept it, I don't think you'll come to realization of why are you fearing in the first place? Why do I fear so many things in my life? So, what do you think?
I think that fear of death is a healthy fear.
Yeah, it's definitely a healthy fear.
Yes. There's many fears out there, and whether it's healthy or unhealthy is mainly determined by whether it's going to help you or it's going to hinder you. The types of fears that hinder you are fears like being afraid to go outside, being unable to engage people in conversation for fear of rejection. There's many ones out there that are going to hinder you, but there's also fears that are important, like the fear of death, the fear of getting hurt.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't put your hand on the fire because you're fearful that you're going to get burned.
Right.
So those are smart fears.
Those are very smart fears.
I mean, fear of death is a very smart fear to have. But don't look at it as, oh, God, I'm going to end. Look at it as right now you have time in your life to be able to live your life the fullest. And when you look at society right now, everybody's not living life to the fullest. They're complaining about everything. They're complaining about how fast you're not going in front of them when they're driving behind you. They're complaining about their jobs that they want or they don't have. They're complaining about how much money they don't have. They're complaining about, oh, God, this is coming up. Instead of just going, you know what? We don't have any control over that.
Yeah. Well, it's basically the things that you don't have control over, it's intelligent to let go.
Well, you don't really have any control over pretty much anything other than the moment right now. Like, I have control over my hand going up.
Right. Exactly.
That's it.
You have
That's
control over your own body.
Yeah, that's it within 3 seconds to 4 seconds of control. That's
And
it.
if you've developed it, you have control over your own mind.
Oh, that's a very hard one.
Yeah.
It's weird when you get control over your own mind because other people will think you're weird. Because things don't affect you anymore. And they go, does this person even care anymore?
Right.
Does this person even have any feelings? What's wrong with this person? That person doesn't fit in the hive of society.
Yeah. I've been through that before.
Well, tell me your story.
I went through a type of meditation retreat called Vipassana. And this is a very intense meditation retreat where you basically sit and you do nothing all day long and you try your darndest not to move. And that starts to get painful.
Yeah, that hurts my back just thinking about
Right?
sitting in the same spot for hours.
It
and not
becomes
moving.
very painful, but it's interesting because through that pain,
That's
you
what I see.
begin to understand that you don't need to react to what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
And through that training, you gain the ability to experience things without automatic reactions.
You know, that makes sense because, I have to mention my music career. I had went through so much pain and turmoil during my music career that I went numb. Pretty soon I didn't have any feelings anymore. I had feelings of when I was singing on stage, but nothing affected me anymore. I just felt like a robot. And I think other musicians can relate to that, where you just don't really feel anymore. And it's kind of bad because you lose the feeling of your music, which can be a bad thing.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
all the fear I had went away because of the pain that I went through, of tolerating all the stuff that I had to tolerate to get to what I call the top is, which there really wasn't a top. That was also an imaginary thing.
Right. Well, you
But-
set a goal for yourself, and that's
I
not
did.
a bad thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to fail. And at first I did feel like I failed when I didn't get, I got on the radio a few times. I got my music on iTunes and stuff, but I never really made the amount of money that I wanted to make. And I didn't look at it I looked at it as failure in the very beginning, but then after that, I didn't look at it as failure anymore because I looked at all the experience that I learned from it. It was overwhelming. I was like, wow, I have so much experience now that, I could probably use it to teach other people
Right.
like we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Yes. So let's get back to fear. So what did you go through during that time when you were in that meditation camp?
So the meditation basically consisted of breathing meditation, which is where you focus on your breath, the in and the out. And at first you begin by focusing on your entire breath as it's going in and out. And then you focus on a smaller area,
And you
Like-
focus on your heartbeat.
like your nose.
Yeah.
And then you try to get smaller and smaller until your focus is kind of so small it disappears. And then you're just sitting there, and like eventually it feels kind of like you're floating there, even though you're still, in pain. You're completely able to ignore it. And it's pretty crazy. I would not recommend it for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a very intense meditation, and
Well-
it's not necessarily beneficial for everybody who engages in it.
Well, you obviously have to want to change this part about your life to go through something as intense like that.
Right.
Yeah, but that's with anything. If you really want to change your fears, like I said in the last show, you got to start stepping that foot into the water a little bit. You got to be able to start taking steps of things that you're fearful of, and it'll get better in time.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about.
So-
talk about.
Let me
Oh, go ahead.
explain
Yes.
afterwards. After this meditation, after I got out of it, I felt a lot like you did. I felt kind of numb
Yeah.
and unable to really relate to how I used to be, and it was like I could just die right now and it wouldn't really matter because
You didn't even know who you were anymore.
Right.
That's exactly how I felt. I felt so lost.
Right.
I felt like, and I got into my drinking because of it. I got into alcoholism really deeply, to the point where I was drinking. I'd say after my musician career, I was probably downing I don't know, half a pint of 100 proof peppermint schnapps every other day. I was going out to the bars. I was still singing karaoke, but I don't know. I was very lost. And then I think what woke me up is when my family members passed away. That month, I actually drank a 740, I think is what it is, a peppermint schnapps, pretty much throughout the whole day, every day, for 30 days.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's no good.
so yeah, I ended up in detox, but the pain of losing somebody, I ignored it through my musician career because I was selfish. I was like, I don't have time for this. Why are you dying right now? I mean, that's pretty much how I felt. I'd worked hard all my life, and I get to this point, and now someone that's close to me has to ruin it. That's a very selfish thought.
Yeah.
But death can make you understand a lot of things when people pass away close to you. You can handle it two ways. You can drink yourself away like I did. Thank God I'm still here. Or you can look at it as a way of doing better in your life. In other words, would those people want you to be hurting and upset? No. Would they want you to do better in your life and move on and do more than they ever did in their life? Yes. So that's the way we should look at death, is an opportunity to do better than the last person and act like you're making that person proud.
Right. It's also a time limit on what you have and what you think you want to get done. Yeah. So it's a highly motivational force if you view it correctly.
Yes.
But ultimately, after the meditation, I was not motivated by the things that I used to be motivated by.
It's a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was strange. It was so strange.
The things that you held so dear to you suddenly just didn't make sense anymore.
The thing, it was kind of like I was empty.
Yeah.
There was nothing. Like before, I would be highly drawn towards certain ways of being, certain actions. I'd be highly repulsed by other things. But now I was just kind of like a blank slate.
Did you feel like you had no energy to go towards anything? Did you feel completely energyless? Energyless?
Well,
I'm always saying weird words I'm making up on this show.
Right. I wouldn't say
that I felt... Did you feel no energy?
I did not feel drained of energy or energyless.
I did. I felt like all my drive was gone.
Yeah.
I felt like, how am I going to drive and work hard now that I have nothing in my mind? And it was like, because my way of living, Deep Think, was first gear and fifth gear. Yeah. I had no beginning, no in between gears at all.
Yeah.
And so when I had to slow down and go in those gears, it felt very weird. I felt like I was missing out on something. I felt like, oh my God, I'm making mistakes, because I had lived my whole life like that.
Right.
It was a new beginning, and now it's different. Now I have all the energy in the world for the right reasons now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But continue, sorry.
So basically, I was in this state where I'm just like, meh, whatever. It lasted for a good month or two, but slowly stuff came back in. I started being motivated again. I started being interested in things again.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I highly treasure that experience, even though it was very difficult, because it's kind of given me a new mode that I can switch into if I need to.
I think you're always in that mode.
I don't. No, I'm not
I don't
really
think I've ever
always in
seen
that
you
mode.
in any other kind of mode, but in zen and calmness. And I've seen a little frustration every once in a while, but I've never.
Yeah.
But it's like 1%
I
out of
can
the
certainly
99.
get frustrated.
Oh, we all can. We're human. We get all mad,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. But it was a good experience for me. Not everybody made it all the way through. It was a 2-week long retreat.
Yeah, a lot of people that wanted to give up,
Oh,
say,
yeah.
forget this. This is just not worth it.
There were definitely some.
Those
And
people didn't have the drive to change.
Well,
They didn't
also,
want to, I guess.
it's like it was not something that you had to stay for.
Yeah.
You were always free to leave. And I think that people who left did so because they weren't ready for it yet. And that's perfectly okay.
Yeah,
that's
that is
perfectly fine.
So, yeah, I take that back. They didn't want to change. They just weren't ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or it might have not been right for them.
Yeah. That's a true fear by itself is meeting new people, and everything you're driven to, they're not driven to the same things that you're driven to. And there's a saying, there's a thing that I read by Brianna Reist. If I'm saying her name right. Sorry, Brianna, if I'm saying your last name wrong. It says, let go of the people who aren't ready to love you. Let go of the people who aren't ready to be with you, and let go of the people that aren't ready to follow you on your path. And it doesn't mean you lost the friendship. It means the energy you gave it is the thing that kept it. So it's a fear by itself of losing people around you because you put your security, which is a fear, into other people. And you should really believe in yourself and your own path that you're on instead of putting that on other people to keep you secure or keep you loved. What do you think?
Absolutely. That's a part of building your own foundation.
Yep. Building your character, building your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we'll talk about the fear of pain since you got into the meditation thing, the meditation camp, and you went through a lot of pain. Pain can really change a person. Sometimes in a bad way. Sometimes it can be serious trauma to a person by going through pain. And then they fear of going through that pain again, which is a post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
That can be a hard thing to deal with.
Especially if it happens when you're young.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to get over.
Yeah.
It
When
is.
it happens when you're young, it sort of gets ingrained in you in a way that it wouldn't if it happened when you were fully developed.
Yeah.
And it can last your entire life, which
it did until I think when I lost my music career is when my childhood trauma that I had went through finally subsided.
Yeah.
And it finally went away. It's because also I got tired of feeling that way too. I said it's time for a change. I said I'm through being upset. I'm through being mad. And everybody will get to that breaking point. So, I mean, I hope you get to that breaking point. I hope it doesn't get so bad that it's unchangeable. But I got to the breaking point. I knew my life had to be better. So it was time to defrag. Kind of like you defrag a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Defrag all the different things in your life that just upset you, make you mad, stress you out. Your fears, just let it all go. Because honestly, you can't change the past and you can't control anything that you're fearful of. You might as well just deal with it. I mean, or go through like what Deep Think went through and go through the pain forever until you're so numb you don't feel anymore, and then you do that flip.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it like the meditation wasn't like about the pain. It was about focus and the ability to bring your mind to a particular thing.
But sitting in position for a very, very long time.
Right. Well, the pain
painful.
The pain was there, but that was the distraction.
That makes sense. Okay.
The value of that meditation was gaining the ability to focus, like laser focus.
That's
on one thing, even through
Really good way to
other,
explain it.
like when other things are like getting in the way, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what pain does. I mean, pain got in the way of my whole entire life of being successful.
Hmm.
It did. It caused me to choose wrong decisions in my life. It caused me to choose alcohol. It caused me to choose drugs. You know, I did my amount of little drugs when I was younger, and it caused me to hang out with the wrong people. It caused me to really abuse myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what was it causing you before your meditation?
Oh, like I had like huge social fears.
Yeah.
Like I could not engage in like conversation in a group of more than one other person
Mm-hmm.
because once there's two people that I'm conversing with, then it kind of becomes a competition. You know, they're
Yeah.
conversing with each other while I'm trying to converse with them, and
Yeah.
like it always ended up with them like conversing, and I just sat back and like, you guys go for it.
I'll be here, just
Right.
kind of like doing the Homer thing.
Yeah, I try to like get into the conversation, but they just keep talking over me. It's just like, what am I gonna do? How do I get the attention? How do I engage? But now it's not so bad.
Yes. Sorry, I had to wet the throat. Deep thoughts,
Hmm.
deep scratches in my throat. So, yeah, that really sucks to have to deal with that. I mean, the fear of being able to be social with people. I mean, that social interaction, I mean, for some people, it's not important. Honestly, it's really, I got to say, it's not important to me. If there's a lot of people in my life, it's okay. If there's not a lot of people in my life, it's okay.
Hmm.
Because, you know, the fear of being alone is the next subject we're going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
We did talk about it on the last show, but the fear of being alone sucks. When you have that fear, it can affect you really badly. Just like that pain that I was talking about, it can make you hang around the wrong people. It can make you make bad decisions in your life. Being alone and having that fear can make you have a wrong relationship because you don't want to be alone, so you settle for someone in your life. Fear of being alone can cause you to do some horrible things to yourself, loneliness and by yourself, which is bad by itself, you know. And I wish everybody, and I pray for everybody that's having those kind of issues out there right now. But I remember how it felt to be alone. It when it did affect me, I guess it's really hard, deep thing, to really think about this because I don't feel it anymore. Feel that fear anymore. It's been
Right.
gone out of my life for such a long time. It's hard to really grasp that feeling again. But I guess it can feel like, I don't know, a letdown.
Hmm.
Is that good enough? I
In
mean,
what way?
let down by not having friends, by not having people in your life. I mean, a letdown like, oh, am I not good enough? Is this, you know, and do I need to change myself in a dramatic way just to make other people happy?
Yeah.
And honestly, you don't. I mean, if you struggle with a fear that was like with society, then you know if it's fixable. But honestly, you don't have to really change for anyone.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're taught as children when we're younger to change constantly through as we're going through middle school and high school. Oh, we got to change to be with the popular crowd. We got to wear these certain clothes. We got to do our hair a certain way for the girls out there. We've got to make sure we wear makeup. Oh, we got to look into these certain kinds of ways of acting, and ooh, that person's gross, and we got to act like this. And really, you know what ends up happening when you get older?
Hmm.
You end up coming back to yourself anyways.
Yeah.
And that's what brings your confidence back. Because whatever you acted like as a kid, bring that back into your adulthood. Start acting that way again, because that's truly who you are. And that's truly who you left behind. And that's truly why you feel so alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you love yourself, honestly, you don't you don't really feel that loneliness anymore. And plus, I'm not going to try to Bible thump you here, but also you've got God for those people, for those Christians out there. So, I mean, you're never truly alone, guys. I mean, if you ever feel alone, just know you got your neighbor living next door to you. You got your mom you can call if she's still here on this earth. You got your dad. You got your sister. You do have a friend that you can call. And it is your choice to sit there and be like, well, I'm lonely, so I'm just, if they don't call me, then they don't care about me. No, that's where you have to step your foot in the water and make the initiative.
Right. It can be frightening to do that, but
fight your fear.
Taking the first step is always the most difficult. Once you take that first step and then the next, then it starts to become a pattern that you can follow, and it's easy to follow patterns.
It sucks living in fear. It really does. I practice on not living in fear every day. If I'm fearful of something, excuse me, guys, I make noises every once in a while. Yeah. So, if I'm fearful of something, I just jump straight in, because usually it's really not that bad. It's all right here. It's psychological. And then I call it mind effing yourself. Then when you're really thinking about it, when you're all alone, then it gets even worse. Then you're just caught in your mind. And pretty soon you're feeling the overwhelmingness of loneliness and hurt and everything else because you're locked in your own mind.
Right. And this can be a part of a negative cycle.
Yeah. A very bad pattern.
Yeah. Ultimately, the thing that you can, if you can notice this in yourself, then you've taken the first step. But that is that it's very easy to form habitual thought patterns where you think of a negative thought and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like
kind of like you did it to yourself.
Well,
you imagine this so much that it actually manifested itself.
Right. Like what I'm talking about is like you think I'm not worthy of so and so, and then after that you end up not engaging because of that, and then you end up like not having the engagement that you might have wanted to have.
And by the way, guys, you are worthy for everyone in this world. You are no less and no higher than anyone else. Everybody is equal to everybody. So when they start getting up on their pedestal and you feel like they're better than you, don't. They're not better than you. You are equal to them. They're just immature thinking they are better than you. So go ahead. Sorry, I just had to say that. I had to elaborate on that because a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. What was I talking about?
You're talking about the fear of society, the fear of social interaction, the fear of...
Right, habitual thought patterns.
Yes.
So ultimately, recognizing habitual thought patterns is the first step.
Yeah.
And it can be very easy to be fearful in habitual thought patterns. But basically, you want to stop blaming yourself for things, and you want to stop being hard on yourself.
Yeah. It's like Bruce Lee said, remember? We cast spells upon ourselves. It's called spelling. It is. I mean, if do not talk negative about yourself, because your mind doesn't know the difference between positive and negative. It is very smart, and if you think negative about yourself, your mind will start controlling. Let me read the quote from Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Do your little thing as I'm, doing my looking up this quote here. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Bruce Lee's quote about spelling. Spelling. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. How about you read it? I'll read it.
It's very difficult to read through.
Yes, it is. Okay, so it says, "Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy, and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself, and you can change your life.
Absolutely.
It is a very, very smart way to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So recognize, one, that you're in a negative pattern.
Yep.
And it's easy to understand, like, to recognize this if you take the time and remember to recognize it, because you will be in a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Of basically judging yourself, and then once you've judged yourself, you're like, I'm not worthy, right?
Yep.
And then when you're not worthy, you start judging yourself again, and it'll turn into a loop, and
Yes.
it's very unhealthy.
It's kind of like when I was in detox, the counselor in there, which I stayed an extra couple of weeks because she spoke the truth. It was so awesome. I just wanted to listen to her, what she had to say, because I was finally listening.
Mm-hmm.
She said that people get on these patterns and they start moving forward relationships or lifestyles, and they say, oh, I want to change my life. And they end up changing it so much, it starts becoming successful. And then they make that turn and go right back into the cesspool again. And then they start repeating it over and over again. It's kind of like being, relationships. You get into a pattern of feeling alone, so you get that next person within 4 or 5 months. You put all the pressure on them because you brought the demons in from the last relationship. And then you try to work it out, and then it doesn't work, so you break up, and then you like, oh, I'm better off without that person. And then a few months go by, 4 months go by. It's usually about 4 or 5 months. You feel that loneliness again. You feel desperation again. You feel like you just cannot be alone, so you do it again. And you repeat and repeat. And instead, you're supposed to just, honestly, take time to yourself. Really take time to yourself. I mean, get back to where... I want to sing that song. Get back to where you once belong. Okay, but get back to where basically you were before your first relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So get back all the way back to where you trusted again. You were very curious about love, but you opened your heart up again purely because you trusted your heart. You were innocent. You didn't have all this stuff in your head that you keep on mind-effing yourself about. Get rid of that stuff. Defrag. And come back to the true you by finding yourself, by soul-searching yourself, by listening to music, working hard. Now, you can remember the past, but don't let it be your prison.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fear right there.
Like, once you catch yourself in one of these negative feedback loops in your own head, the easiest way to get out of it is to be gentle with yourself.
Yes. Say it's okay.
When you catch yourself being negative about yourself, thinking negative thoughts about who you are or what you've done, then take a step back and listen to those thoughts, and let them happen, but don't believe them.
Because most of the thoughts are just your fears reacting in your head.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the little devil in all of our heads.
Right.
The devil going, you better fear from that. You better get away from there. It's going to happen to you again. You're going to get your heart broken again. You know what I say? That. I trust. I am fearless. That's what I say. I'm tired of being fearful if I'm going to get my heart broken. I jump in, but I do not jump in head first, because that's another thing. You've got to get to know a person first. And I say, take your time when it comes to a relationship.
Absolutely.
I had to say that real fast because I said, just jump right in. Don't be fearless. Well, I pulled my words back on a few things. Don't jump right in. Get to know the person. Don't go jumping in bed and doing the thing right in the first week. That's not the way to go, even though when you're young, that's how you feel. Because your hormones are going 1,000 miles an hour, and that's what gets you in trouble most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So make the right choices, and if you get into a relationship, try to be best friends with that person, because once you become best friends, it's amazing. You don't have the fear of, does the other person love me back? You don't have the fear of, oh, I need to be secure with this person, or is this person going to leave me? And that right there is a fear by itself. If you make best friends with a person, you won't have that fear. You'll feel good, and also you gotta love yourself, because you can't put the love all on the other person. You have to love yourself, and you have to be your own leader.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
So, next one, we'll talk about fear. Do you think we've discussed that part enough?
Which one?
The fear in relationships.
Yeah, I think so.
Fear in relationships. Okay. Here's a really, really difficult one. And a lot of people struggle from this. I myself have struggled from this. The fear of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, abandonment issues can come from childhood, from a from a divorce, mother or father leaving, or maybe a mother and father not being responsible at all and being completely left alone, and you weren't properly prepared for the big world, and so you're always insecure. You're always fearful of, am I going to be loved? And people are going to judge me, and it's an overwhelming feeling, because when you have abandonment, it can feel like a lost cause.
Yeah.
Yes. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, I don't have much to say on that topic. I don't have much experience with it. I count myself incredibly lucky with the family I was born into. I was given tremendous love, and I am so grateful for that.
Well, I love my mother and I love my father, but unfortunately, I was raised in a issue where our father was gone most of the time, and my mother had to take care of my sister and I. So it really hurt. I didn't have a man figure in my life. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being raised by two women.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go, why don't I have a period? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I just felt different, because I never got along with guys for a long time, because when you're raised by two women, you don't really have that man kind of mentality level, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I had to kind of the first lesson I learned about being a man was, there was one time, one of my crazy broken friends had come to my house and was banging on the door, and wanted to beat me up. And I think I was like 12 or 13, something like that. Wanted to beat me up, and my father wasn't there, of course. He's been gone for a while. He's always gone. But my mother went up to the door, said she was going to call the police and stuff, and he hit the door and put a crack in the door, and I ran in the back like a coward.
Mm-hmm.
I did. So once my mom and my sister took care of that situation.
How old were you at the time?
I was 12 or 13 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. I might have been 14. Wait. No. Actually, I was 16, because I got a car when I was 15. That's right. So I was 16. So I ran in the back. I was scared. No, I was 15. 15. Make up your mind, Dusty. I was 15. So I ran in the back. I was scared. And no one ever taught me how to protect my family.
Mm.
So my mom had a talk with me. She said, listen, I know your father is not around, and I know it's very difficult for you, but you are the man of the house. Next time that stuff happens, don't go cowardly running in the back. You need to protect me and your sister.
Mm.
So I learned from that point that, and I always protected them. That's why I took martial arts. I started toughening up a lot more, and they were always first in my mind, to protect my family. And that was one of the things that I had to deal with. And then the abandonment issues was really difficult, because that right there can make you feel like you have to fit into society. You have to get that love from society. You have to be loved from your partner a whole bunch, and you have to know that they love you every single day. And that right there can be overwhelming for your partner.
Yeah.
Because you're putting all of your stress of what you're feeling on the other person. And that's how I was doing in a lot of relationships. I was putting the stress, and I was super insecure. It was a horrible time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was very difficult to deal with that. And now that I've dealt with my pain and my issues and stuff, now I'm helping others with their pain.
Yeah.
Because I know how to get past it. I know the keys, and that's why we have this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you've been through those types of experiences, it actually can turn into quite a valuable thing.
It is a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because once you've experienced it for yourself, you can relate to other people who are going through that same situation.
Yep. I can truly relate to a lot of things. All right, so let's keep this fear subject going on this. Let's keep on going. The fear of change.
All right.
Let's talk about that one. I'm going to wet my whistle again.
It's a very interesting fear. Basically, change can be good, and it can also be bad. Like, sometimes you'll like get out of a bad situation, and that's good change. Other times you'll be perfectly fine, sitting pretty, and then suddenly your house burns down. That's not a good change, right?
Oh, but you're alive.
Yeah. There's always that.
Yeah. Just look at the positive aspects about when you're in tough situations like that.
Yeah.
Tell us some more changes.
As long as you're alive, you have the possibility for new situations.
Yes. What other things that people fear about change?
Oh, well, the thing is
so many of them.
Yeah. Change is scary in and of itself, because you are sort of bucking the status quo, something that you're used to, something that you understand. When you understand something, you know the rules.
Yeah.
And you know that if you do this, you can expect this, which is great. It's an awesome place to be if you know the rules and you know what to expect for what you give.
What about a routine change?
Routine
change? I was talking way back here. I don't know if you guys can hear me. But yeah, so what about routine change? Like, say you go to your job every day like normal. You know how long it's going to be on the highway. You know how long it's going to be in traffic.
Right.
People make you mad. I just want to, don't cut me off. And you know how much you're going to get paid. You have that security. And then something like the coronavirus hits.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to expect.
That was terrible for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of people acted in very different ways.
Fighting over toilet paper.
Right. Some people seek to take advantage.
Saying another word on that.
Some people seek to take advantage of change.
Yeah.
Other people seek to protect themselves.
Yeah, take advantage of change so much that they're selfish to others.
Oh yeah, sometimes.
That's a horrible way to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take what you need and then know that that's going to be restocked for the next week and safe for others.
Right.
That's how we should be as humans, but that's not how we are, and that's why we talk about this stuff. How about the change of routine when you're on the way to your work and you get a flat tire?
That sucks.
And you've already had engine problems that you just got fixed, but now you got a flat tire and you don't have a spare.
And you're
stuck on the side of the road, and your boss already told you, if you're late to your job again, I'm gonna write you up.
Right.
So what do you do in that fearful situation? How do you get over that fear?
Well, it's always
and anxiety.
It's always a good idea to take a step back.
Yeah.
Well, you could either freak out and start yelling at people and like trying to like get control over the situation through force.
Like people acting like it's the end of the world.
But it's
It's
right,
not.
exactly. But that's not going to do you any favors. If you are able to take a step back, breathe deeply, and be like, I might lose my job. If I do, I'll deal with it.
Yes.
Right?
It's not the end of the world. And the cool thing is that you might meet some people that basically pull over on the side of the road and they help you.
Yeah.
And those people may help you. You make some new friends.
Right.
And that may be a new job opportunity for you. Or
but
that may be a new adventure. You may be going skydiving with those people.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're freaking out and yelling at people,
they're going to run.
Nobody's going to want to help you. Like, people don't like being mistreated.
I can't believe it, my tire, it's all messed up and everything else. Calm down, lady. Calm down just a little bit. You just keep, hang on 1 second. This person is going crazy here. Can you get an officer over here as soon as possible?
Yeah. But, or you could act calm, be respectful, ask for help in like a nice way, and not put your own like inner feelings out into the world in a way that's going to cause them to grow into something problematic.
Exactly, because more people are going to be willing to help you if you're nice and calm and go, just another day.
Yeah. I like to see your words and actions as seeds.
Yes.
And your life as a garden. Basically, you
explain
have
that.
the choice of what seeds you plant.
Yep.
And if you're conscious about what seeds you plant, then you will be able to reap the types of fruits and foods and like life experiences that you want. But if you are not conscious about the words that you're putting out into the world, about the ideas that you're putting forward, then you are planting weeds in your garden. And if you expect delicious fruits and vegetables to grow from those weeds, you're going to be upset.
And the over expectation, you need to drop that. It's no one's really responsible for helping you. Mm-hmm. You should be thankful that they stop and help you. It should be the other way around. It shouldn't be like, I got to get to work and I don't have time for this. You got a tool. You got this. No. That's not the way you handle it. You go, thank you very much for stopping. I really do appreciate it. Unfortunately, I have a flat tire here. Do you have any way you could help me? I mean, readjust the way you say stuff, and you'll have a lot more people helping you in not only situations with a flat tire, but in life in general.
Absolutely. I've been in those situations, and it is incredibly important to be as friendly as possible because naturally you have to take a look at how you look through other people's eyes.
Yes.
Like
put the shoe on the other foot.
I've run out of gas before.
And not your own foot. I mean, put the shoe on the other person's foot.
I've run out of gas before.
Put your foot in the other person's shoes.
On a road, way far away from any gas station. And like, I needed to get gas, but basically I was kind of like at the whim of everybody who was driving by. I was thumbing it.
Well, Deep Think, I thought you were so smart, you would just make gas out of the dirt.
Oh, right, yeah. With my portable refinery that I keep in my pocket.
He's MacGyver, I'm telling you.
So, like, I thumbed it, and man, I gotta tell you, I think that people who have dogs are the friendliest people around. Like,
dogs keep you happy all the time.
Out of everybody I've caught a ride with before, it's always been somebody who's had a dog with them. And
nice.
Like it's interesting when you're engaging with a stranger and trying to do something nice for them because you don't know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
You could get a crazy, or you could get someone who's nice and kind. You don't know. It's a chance.
Yep.
And like when you're in a difficult situation, it's incredibly important to remember that anybody who's offering your help, who doesn't know you, is taking a chance.
Anyone that's offering help to you, not offering your help.
Exactly.
You're not helping them by them helping you.
That's what I said, isn't it?
Offering, no, you said offering them your help.
Oh, sorry.
Offering them your help. offering them your
They
no,
are
what,
offering you help.
yeah, or something like that. You said it different,
All right.
but yeah, yep. So yeah, man, there's so many things to talk about when it comes to fear. Let's see, we got another 10 minutes. How about we talk about let's see. How about the fear of failure?
Oh yeah, fear of failure. That's like an ingrained one, right? That's like a fundamental one.
Some people don't even start projects because they think they're going to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say go for it.
Right.
Don't fear that you're going to fail. Think about the experiences you're going to learn while doing it.
Right.
Even if you don't succeed, like I was telling about my musician career,
yeah.
Even though you don't succeed, think about the adventures you're going to get to see.
Right. And even if you fail at like the thing that you're trying to do, you're not failing in that you're gaining experiences.
Yes.
You're starting to develop skills through your experiences, even if you do not succeed the first time.
Yeah. And those experiences lead to other opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Absolutely.
When I started doing advertisement for my band, I started getting into web design and everything else, trying to do my websites and promoting my music and everything else. And I was doing video editing because I was doing little videos and stuff like that for myself. Even though I didn't get to where I needed to be at, now I have all these skills of video editing, which he's way better at it. So
I've been doing it for a little longer. So.
Yeah, he knows Pro Tools by the back of his hand. Right. So yeah, I'm jealous. I think anything that comes to computers with this guy, he just is unbelievable.
I've been doing it my whole life, so.
Aren't you making a video game right now?
Well, trying to. I'm in a game jam.
So. You're in a game jam? Is that like a writer's block?
No, it's like a little competition where a bunch of people get together and do one thing.
A game jam, like a traffic jam?
Yeah, exactly. That is what I said.
Oh, so it sounded like you were stopping because you were in a jam.
No.
Oh,
no.
Sorry. I misunderstood you.
No, it's basically a bunch of people get together.
Yeah.
And either teams or by yourself, you try to do something.
Yeah.
Like create a game. And you have a certain time limit you get to have to do that. And I was
How much time do you have?
1
week,
week
right?
Long. Yeah.
But you're still going on that week, aren't you?
No, it's over now.
So did you finish your project?
What the?
You're a Japanese girl.
Oh
hey, there you are.
That's not what I meant to do. Where did it go?
That's funny. There, how about? There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
I bumped the phone.
You bumped. He bumped his mask. Changed the pictures.
But I actually didn't end up finishing it. But in the process, I learned a ton about creating 3D models.
That's exactly what I was
programming.
Yeah. Creating a 3D room and how little characters move around the room.
Yeah.
Even though the character looked like Herbert.
Right. It was just a little cylinder with a nose.
Yeah. That's what it reminded me of. I saw it and I was just like, and it started out as just this white room with walls and this little character just walking around like this.
Yep.
Just.
Yeah.
But
I think I bet a bit too much off to be able to finish something like that with all the stuff I tried.
Well, because you were learning stuff at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. Now you wonder why I have problems with Pro Tools because I'm learning it as I'm making a video.
Right.
That's why I just let him do it.
Yep. Anyways.
So anywho, let's see how much more we can talk about. So the fear of death, the fear of judgment on society. Did we talk about that?
Fear of
judgment in society.
Yeah.
Guys, if I can be really quick on that, what's wrong?
Time.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought we were wrapping up.
I'm looking at the time.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, I've always got it planned out.
Right on.
Yeah. So we still got another 4
Sounded to me
minutes.
like we're
so
going into a whole new subject.
oh no, we are. But that's why I was going to make it quick on this
All
one.
right.
Fear of society and judgment. Judgment of society. For one thing, don't put your security in society.
Right.
It's as simple as that. Don't depend on society to make you secure.
Well, society is a large part of what makes us secure,
Not really.
right?
They can make you very unhappy.
Oh yeah, they can. But basically, the well-being of the people around you is directly relatable to your own well-being.
Well, that goes back to what I said. Those people aren't ready to follow you on your path.
Right.
Yeah, so you
Maybe
honestly
we're
don't
talking about
need
different
people.
things.
You don't need those kind of people around you if you want to be successful in your life. You
Right.
need people that are going to support you, give you the credibility that you need and the honesty. And those people, the 5 people, you can put a little bit of security in them, but you need to be insecure in your own self. Because sometimes, even if you're 100% right, you're going to have to walk alone for a few years. You have. I experienced that myself. I had to walk alone for a few years, and I had to stick to my guns. And then soon enough, my friends just started coming. And when they came, I had a better set of people around me than I ever did. But guys, who's ever watching, my friends in Dallas and all the other places, hey, I love you guys. So you guys were awesome. I'm just saying the friends here now, other friends that have come along that helps me even more on my journey. So don't be insecure now. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. So, all right, guys, we got about 3 minutes left. Let me end it with this, okay? Why do I fear when it's out of my hands? Why? Why should we fear when it's out of our hands? Most of our fears are out of our control and out of our hands. So if you'll take that fear completely out and stop fearing about it, stop trying to control it, you will defrag that part of your mind. You will empty your cup. So that's one thing. Because eventually you're going to have to face your fear anyways. You're going to have to, no matter what. You'll get tired of fearing of it because it's a main thing in your life and it's keeping you from succeeding. You're going to have to face it anyways, so you might as well just get rid of it in the first place. So, yeah, so we will definitely get tired of that fear. So guys, be secure in yourself, love yourself, be honest to yourself, speak positive to yourself because you don't want to spell your own self, the Bruce Lee spelling, and be good to other people. Make sure you always live life to the fullest. Empty that cup every single day that you wake up and practice on selflessness. You have anything to add to that?
Nope.
Okay, well. All right, guys. I am Dusty Neal.
And I'm Pete Thing.
And we will see you next week again. We usually release our videos around Thursdays or Fridays. So look forward to each one of our shows. And God bless. We'll see you later.
Have a great one.